Hello there everyone and welcome to Imperial Destroyer. This is the installation video where I'll show you how to install the mods that I'm using for my campaign. So let's get straight into it. We're going to use these three files, the main Imperial Destroyer file and then two submods. For this you need to download them. The links will be in the description down below for all these three, and hopefully they'll still be working when you are going into installing it. You're gonna have to have a install WinRAR to open up the packages, and I'm gonna show you where the files go right now. So we'll start with Imperial Destroyer 6.3. and we'll go into that. So what you want to do is the data folder and the English text need to be extracted into, so you go through your PC, wherever you have your Steam folder located. And then in my case it's C, and then down to Program Files 86, and then we've got Steam, Steam Apps, Common, and then Empire. And in this case, because I'm sending the entire file, we're going to just overwrite this one. So I'm just going to place it in Empire like that. We don't want to place it inside of the Empire data folder. So you extract it into there, and you do exactly the same with the English text file here. First we're going to open it up and then go through here, and then, but this time around, because we're not sending the entire data folder, kind of unnecessary in this case, we're going to just send the file, and so then we want to put it inside of the data folder. So Steam Apps, Common, Empire, and this time we want to put it inside there. Now we've got English text, and the main version is done for Imperial Destroyer. We're not going to go into the English or the gameplay options. Neither we're going to use the script options here, because there are other script options that follow with one of the submods. And now we'll go to the first submod, which is the disease mod. And we're just going to go through here. So here's where you find it, but the link will be down below. I just want to show a little bit what it adds. It adds quite a lot, to be in fact, to say. So diseases, of course, because that's what the mod is called, but it adds a lot of other stuff as we go through here, replenishment and so on. And then it adds a new system of random events and parameters of stability and admin points, similar to what you have in Europa Universalis 4. So it really kind of becomes a little bit like a paradox game. You have stability in the same way with 3+ or 3-. There's limited armies. There's lots of stuff, inflation, and stuff when we go through. The only thing, I haven't really tested this out yet, and the only problem I had so far is I haven't really figured out how to actually get into the different, because what you want to do is you want to click the a certain button, as we see here, to open up panels, so you can actually change some of these new or use some of these new features. So that is, let's see where it says here, where you open up a panel. So anyways, it's the question mark button. Here we go. Open the Saboteur info panel and press question mark there. I have pressed it, but I haven't actually figured it out. But hopefully I'll do. Needless for this, though. So now we got to install that part. So we go into that pack file, we go through, and what I did was we brought everything from this, even though we don't need to, but for some reason I did when I installed it, and it's the same there. So Steam Apps, Common, and in this case, because we're bringing everything, we'll put it in the Empire folder, and you can see the stuff is already in there. The important thing here is once you've done this, this file right here is what you start the mod with, or the game with. So I suggest that you make a shortcut to the desktop that you can see right here. Once I click that, we'll be able to start the game. And then for the next bit, actually not the next bit just yet, I almost missed here. So we've put all of that in. Now we want to put the script in, and we're going to do early campaigns. We're going to take this user script, and we're going to extract that through the profile instead. So we're not going to go through this PC. We're instead going to go through the profile of the user, and we're going to go down to app data. Now this is a hidden folder, and you'll have to make sure that you can view hidden folders. You can Google that, how you can fix that depending on what system you have. It might be different how to set it up, but it should be rather easy. So hidden folders, make sure that you can able to see them. Then you go through profile, app data, roaming, creative assembly, Empire, and then scripts, and you place it in there. Now while we're at scripts, we could change another thing, which is something that a lot of people ask, which is how do you get so many troops in a unit? So we've made it through user, app data, roaming, and then we'll go the creative assembly, Empire, scripts. User script is what we just put in, and that enables all the mod stuff. But what we want to edit now is the preference script. So you open that up, and right at the top here, right here, you have campaign unit multiplier. And normally it's set to a rather low number, but we want to get those 400 man units, you up it to 2.5. You can up it all the way to 4, but then the units become needlessly large, I'd say. So 2.5, and then what you need to do is, usually what you should do is properties, and then make it read only, so it doesn't revert back to small units if you would perhaps fiddling around in the options and accidentally lower it. So there. So that's done. Now we go for the last part, which is something that a lot of people find annoying with the Imperial Destroyer, and that is that the amount of ammunition for units are heavily reduced to the point where they only have 3 shots per man per unit, which does mean that there's not a lot of shooting and there's a lot more meleeing, but we want a lot of shooting. Now I tried to find one that restored it to 20, which I believe is the normal amount of rounds for a standard unit, and then I think it's 15 for militia. I couldn't find that, but I found this one, which is a submod that adds the ammo count up to 60, so you have 60 rounds instead, which is a little bit too much, but hey, we're going to be shooting a lot, I guess. I think it will help the Netherlands because it's a small nation, and we'll be able to shoot down larger nations, and also kind of horde factions that have tons of melee units. And you place these into the data folder, and voila! This should be done, and hopefully this will work out for you. So then, once all this is done, you'll click on the VDM start shortcut, and the game should start up just fine, and you should be able to play along. Maybe not as the Dutch, but as another faction. But you should have the exact same version as I have. And with that said, I'll say as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one, and especially this campaign.